Hi, Tracy Fines, real estate investor, 25-year veteran. And in this upcoming talk, I am talking all about mindset and how having a mindset of abundance is so key as a real estate investor. And I talk about how meditation basically has really changed my mindset. And I also share a really funny story about how I was removed from the building department one day. This is all before a good mindset I had. I had a mindset of a lot of lack and lack and worry, basically, tons of anxiety. And then after all of the meditation work, it's just changed my life completely. So enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.
Tracy is an experienced investor and builder, published interior designer, and she has won numerous awards for design. Tracy is an award-winning author and international speaker who has been featured in international publications and on television. Having a zest for life, a love of great design, and an enthusiasm for creating beauty, she will uplift and inspire you to take massive action in your life to achieve your goals. And she wants to help you do the same. Please welcome Tracy Fines.
Thank you to those of you that are joining me today. I'm going to talk a lot about mindset, the real estate investor mindset training, and where I was originally with my mindset and where I've come to be really today. And how, what are the tools that I've used and how has it changed for me over the years? And so I have a funny story that I want to start with. And I'm just going to move a little bit here. But this is a funny story. I was just telling members in my group. So as you know, I'm a real estate investor, and I have been flipping properties for 25 years. And now I'm sharing with you how I do it. I also have started an online program, and I have lots and lots of students now that I am mentoring and coaching in this amazing world of flipping properties and investing in real estate. So today I want to talk about mindset and where I've come from. And it's really quite funny because I just was doing a live training moments ago in my Flipping Great Life Facebook group. And I was talking all about the permitting process. Ooh, really exciting stuff, but very necessary. And so I shared a funny story at the end of the training. And so I just wanted to share this story with you because it's just ridiculous. But I'm doing my investing here in Toronto, Canada. And so I needed to get a permit for a project that I was working on in Riverdale. For those of you who are Torontonians, you'll know where Riverdale is. So I needed to get a permit, and I was able to get a fast track permit because it was a small project. So I didn't have to go through the regular route. I could go through the fast track route, which is basically that. If it's a smaller project, you don't have to wait so long to get a permit. So I went down to the city hall they were going to review for a fast track permit. They could review your project right on the spot, and you bring your drawings and you show them what you're doing, and then they review it and they say, okay. So they were reviewing my project, and the whole permitting process for me as an investor in the past has always been a really stressful time, because that for me was where I had to give up my control it wasn't up to me anymore what was happening. It was up to them. And that for me was a really uncomfortable place, because they really like to just sort of what's the word? They just like to use their power somehow that just makes you feel like crap. Like they just like to power trip on you, is the bottom line. And so it was always very, very stressful for me to go to the city to get the permit. And so I'm at the counter and they're reviewing my plans, and and they're looking at it and they're scrutinizing it, and they're like, oh, I don't think we can give you, they're giving me a hard time basically. And they were like, oh, I don't think we can give you this permit. And I was like, oh, no, this isn't going my way. And I was getting really upset. Like I was inside, I was just boiling. I was just like, oh, these people are just driving me crazy, how difficult they are. And so they said, why don't you just have a seat? We have to talk to our people, or whatever the heck they do. They're like these, they just want to power trip on you basically. So I was just pretty much bubbling and boiling with frustration. And this is at a time when I was flipping for, like I said, I've been flipping for 25 years, but this is at a time when I was pretty stressed out most of the time with small children, doing full-time real estate investing, I was pretty stressed out. Let's just put it that way. I was living with a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear at this time in my life. And so when I was at the city hall, it was no different. And these people were really frustrating me. And they said, why don't you just take a seat? We're going to have to talk to our people about these plans that probably don't, add up. Giving me a hard time. Meanwhile, I have the work going on site, which is probably not, allowed, right? I need a permit for this particular project. I've got workmen, it's happening. So I could be shut down. I could possibly be even fined, right? And so there was a lot of pressure on me from so many directions to get this permit. And anyway, I was sitting there and I was just, boiling and bubbling with frustration, and these people are just they're in my way, right, to get my work done. And my arm started to get all pins and needly. And I was like, whoa, what's going on with my arm? That's not right. And I just felt kind of nauseous, and I started to sweat. I was like, oh, this is really, I don't know what's happening. Something's not right. Something's happening to me. And then the people at the counter, the plans reviewers, they're looking over at me. They're like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not feeling right. And so they call security, and the security guards come over, and they're like, so what's happening? What's happening? How do you feel? And I'm like, well, I just my arms all numb. I feel nauseous. I don't know what's happening to me. And they're like, oh, well, we're calling the paramedics. We're calling the paramedics. So they get on their walkie-talkie thing and call 911. Come to the building department to get this chick out of here. She's neurotic and having some kind of heart attack. And so the funniest thing happened. So the paramedics come, the ambulance comes, the paramedics come, the stretcher comes. They're like, well, you've got to go to the hospital. We have to run tests on you. And so that's how I left the building department that day, was on a stretcher. And the plans examiners were looking over at me, and they said, we weren't going to give you the permit. And I looked at them and I pointed my finger at them and I said, "You did this to me." And they wheeled me out of there like some crazy person. Oh my God. It was humiliating. And I thought, I've got to change my ways. I cannot, I cannot be like this. And so I really had to do some soul searching there. Like, I ended up in the hospital because of a the permitting process of being a real estate flipper. Like, I could not sustain that, right? Like, I could not continue being that way in this business. I was going to end up going down the road of a real heart attack probably if I was going to continue that way. I ended up just having a panic attack is what they told me. That's just a panic attack. So it wasn't terribly serious, but serious enough that they took me out of the building department. I probably am it's like in the history of real estate investing, that's probably like the one time that they've actually seen somebody leave on a stretcher. And that was me. Anyway, so the point that I'm making is that that's before. And now things are very, very different for me in the process the process is still the same. Like getting, buying a property, getting a permit to fix it up, and fixing it up and then selling it for a profit. That process has not changed. But my mindset has changed. I have changed. Okay, I couldn't go on living that way. I was basically quite unhappy, and in fact depressed, and ended up getting into seeing a psychiatrist because I was just, I just didn't feel good. I didn't have any joy in my life. And so I ended up going and I actually got put on antidepressants, which I think is not uncommon. And so they did help me short term, but what really worked for me, and this is why I want to talk about mindset today, and this has changed my life. So I'm all about results. Okay, you can talk a big game and you can say, oh, I invest in lots of properties and all this kind of stuff, and but what are your results? Are you making money? Are you making enough money to have and do and be and what you want in life? So what are your results? And are you enjoying yourself while you do it? I mean, I was having a great life, but was I enjoying myself? No, I ended up in the hospital with a panic attack and depressed. I was not enjoying myself, okay? And I don't want to live my life like that. So I got into this space. I got into this space with this. I just, everything happens for a reason. I totally believe that. I ended up meeting this psychiatrist who was somehow referred to me. I don't even remember now exactly how I got into her office. But she taught me meditation and mindfulness. And I had never heard of mindfulness before, or maybe I had, but it certainly wasn't something that I thought a lot about. But she started me into meditation and mindfulness, and everything changed. It changed how I was in the world. It changed who I was. So I was afraid of meditation originally. I've always thought of myself a little bit as a psychic, kind of sensitive person to the sort of spiritual world. So I was always very nervous about doing meditation, because I thought, I might bring up evil spirits or something. Somehow I might open a door into my life. I know it sounds
ludicrous, but that's basically how I felt. So when she invited me into her meditation group of other patients of hers, and I trusted her a lot, and I thought, okay, I'll that'll be a safe way for me to try this whole meditation thing. And so I went into the group, and there was about six to eight of us, and so we just started off with sort of like little baby meditations of maybe like 2 minutes. But before we started the meditation, she went around the room and she asked everyone, well, what do you want to get out of this? And so my answer was, I want joy in my life. I had no joy. And I had 3 little kids, I had twins, I had twins, and then I had a 3-year-old, and it was chaos. It was sheer and utter chaos. And I was pretty miserable. And so I just wanted joy in my life. And so we started this meditation group, and it was once a week. And you were to, do meditations throughout the week on your own. And so I started with this meditation group, and just for 2 minutes, like just to be quieting your mind as much as possible. And of course, you have all these thoughts, and you think, well, I can't meditate because I have too many thoughts that run through my head. Well, that doesn't matter. Like, just allow the thoughts to come, acknowledge the thought, and let it pass. And then a new thought will come, acknowledge it, let it pass. And just allow the thoughts to be there. Don't try to say, I've got to have a blank mind. It's just, you're just trying to force something. So just allow the thoughts to come, is what she said. Close your eyes. We're just going to do this for a couple of minutes. And go, you can also focus in on, a beautiful sunset or a beach or something. Like, try to focus your attention on a scene that will help you to calm your mind. And when the thoughts take you away from that scene, just, when you realize it, just come back to that scene that you're focusing on. So we did this. And over the course of about, 6 to 8 weeks, we would do this group weekly, and the meditations would be somewhat varied. She would do some different types of different kinds of meditations, but then each time we would do a little bit longer and a little bit longer meditation, and because we were practicing, we were getting better at it. And what eventually happens is that the gaps between thoughts get bigger. And that's when really there's like this amazing magical thing that happens in meditation. And that is when the gaps get bigger in between the thoughts. It's like creativity or messages of some kind, or a connection to spirit or the universe happens, and there's something that you're not controlling that is you're allowing to come into your world. And that's like a really amazing time. That is there's so much peace and tranquility there, and faith. Like, there's so much faith that blossoms in those moments that's typically called what meditators call the gap in between the thoughts. And those are the moments that are the most amazing, spiritual, peaceful moments. That, like, for me, I had actually some messages come in during those moments, and I still don't really understand what the messages are, but I do have sometimes it's like you're dreaming, but you're not asleep. So it's like having a dream that is in an awakened state. So it's pretty interesting, and it's very, very calming. And over the course of time, what that did for me is it really eliminated a lot of my stress, a lot of my anxiety. And I was, as you could tell by that story that I talked about at the beginning of this talk, is that I was so stressed out. I was taken to the hospital on a stretcher. But going through the meditation practice and doing it regularly throughout the course of the week, and then every week with my psychiatrist in her meditation group, I just started to change my thoughts. It started to change how I felt. And at the end of the group exercise, after the 8 weeks was over, and she went around the room and said, well, what did you get out of this? What happened for you? And I was amazed. Like, I actually had joy in my life. I was like, oh my gosh, I could not have had any better result, because in the beginning I said I wanted joy in my life, and at the end I was like, I have joy in my life again. And I mean, do I know specifically about what it was about the meditation that did that for me? No, I don't. I just know it worked. So those action steps that I took and did the meditation, and there's one other thing I did as well, but the meditation gave me the result that I was looking for, which was joy. I felt joy again. I had joy in my life. So I think that is one of the most remarkable transformations. Not only do I have joy in my life even now, but I don't live in that anxious, stressful mode anymore. I don't live in anxiety. I don't live in fear. And I'm doing projects that are way bigger than what that was back then. I'm doing things that would blow most people's minds. Investing in multi-million-dollar properties, and putting it all in. I'm all in. I'm doubled down on stuff, and I sleep at night. When I was anxious and fearful in the past, I would have restless nights. I would be up a lot, drinking chamomile tea and getting out some essential oils and doing all these different homeopathic remedies to try and relax. I don't have those kind of nights anymore. I don't do that. I feel really amazing. I feel a lot of joy. I have a great flipping life, and I'm not joking. I am enjoying myself immensely. Now, before I sign off, I'm going to tell you there's one more thing that she taught me, which was so key. And that was to do gratitude journaling. And I want everybody that is listening to this today to take this away with them. The gratitude journaling has, changed my life as well. I want to show you my gratitude journal in just a second. Yeah. So this is my gratitude journal. Okay, it's very simple. This little black book, and I write in here every day. I write 3 things that I'm grateful for. So it really changes your energy. It just when you change your energy into gratitude, you sort of become this attractor of amazing things. So when you say you're grateful for this cushion that I'm sitting on because this chair is very uncomfortable, then you know what? You just bring so many amazing good things into your life. So I write down at least 3 things every day that I'm grateful for. And she taught me this. I also do a lot of action step planning in here as well. But between the meditation and the gratitude journaling, totally changed my life. I lead, I am happy, joyful. I dance around all the time. I'm playing music, enjoying myself. I love what I do. I don't stress out about it. I mean, there are stressful moments in everything that every work that you may have, but I just don't deal with it the same way anymore. I just, everything you can figure it out. But when you don't have the tools to get to this place, it's really a struggle. And once I started doing the meditation and the gratitude journaling, total game changer. And I want that for you. So please listen. This advice is from experience. And it's not just me, okay? Many people have this experience, and I'm sure you can go on the World Wide Web and find lots of people that are talking about gratitude journaling and meditation. I mean, it isn't hard to find people talking about that. So get on it, do it, start today. 2 minutes, just sit in quiet spot. I like to lie down actually when I do meditations, because I just find that I can really just relax so much better. I like to do my meditations lying down. I do listen to Deepak. I have an app on my phone. So I have a great app that works really well for me. Totally recommend getting an app and just starting with a couple minutes a day and work your way up. And I started to find that at about 25 minutes of meditation is when I really sort of hit a magical timing, and that's when I would really start to have different visions that were organic and also messages. So I love it when I'm getting these amazing messages. Maybe next Monday I will talk about some of the messages that I have received. That's actually really great for my next Monday at 12 noon Eastern. I will be back here to talk more about mindfulness next week. There's a lot more that I have not even touched on